Okay, you guys good? Welcome back. This is like kind of like a continuation. If you guys noticed, I was wearing different clothing. I had to record this video in multiple parts. But you guys are kind of like okay with that, right? Things can't be recorded all together. This is the full book collection video, so it's gonna have to be in multiple parts because there's a lot of books. So you guys have probably, if you guys have stuck around this far to the video, yeah. But let's move on to the next books. It is TMNT The Last Ronin. I tried my best to put these all in alphabetical order, but I put these as best I could. I have The Last Ronin and The Last Ronin Lost Years. I have not read these yet. I picked them up because they were on sale at Target near me, and I was like, they look so cool. I love the artwork of The Last Ronin. I think it's a very interesting story, and I think I will give these a shot this year, like along with Berserk, and I'll probably do a good video on these. Yeah, so The Last Ronin and The Last Ronin Lost Years. So there's that. Yes, sir. Next we have Lost Boy, or The Lost Boy. This is an intriguing novel or graphic novel I found at Half Price Books. The synopsis is what got me. Let me read it to you. After Nate moves into his new house, he discovers an old tape recorder in his bedroom and is suddenly thrust into a dark mystery about a boy who went missing many years ago. Not gonna read the rest, but that's basically it. It's like, it's kind of like it's like a dark mystery, and the art style really got me because it's like a realistic art style. I'll probably talk about this later when I actually really get around to reading it. I don't really have much time to read my books, but we'll get around to reading it, guys. Hopefully, hopefully I talk about this in the future. Without further ado, let's move on to the next book, shall we? The next set of books we are going to talk about is the Maze Runner trilogy. Now, these are actually my oldest books. Like, these are the first real trilogy I own. I only consider this a trilogy. I know there's many more books after this, but these are actually the UK versions, if you guys didn't notice. I got the Maze Runner, the Scorched Trials, and the Death Cure. Now, these books were very big parts of my my adolescence, my teenage years, and I think these are really what really got me into writing, because I want to be a writer. I'm aspiring to be a writer of a published book, and these books are what really got me. These in manga. Like, I love the intrigue of the dystopian world of this, like the dystopian world in these, and along with the Hunger Games and other many dystopians that came out around that time, because dystopias were very, very popular. But yeah, we have all the Maze Runners by James Dashner, a really good author. I haven't read these in a while, but I do own all the movies. So yeah, the Maze Runner trilogy: Maze Runner, Scorched Trials, Death Cure. All right, yes, now we move on to the next set of books that we have, and it is the Naruto volumes that I own. I own volumes 25, 38, and the official character guide book. Now, this I got gifted by my cousin. He had it, and I think he thought it was something else, but I love this because I do love all the Naruto characters. Like, Naruto is one of my favorite mangas and animes, probably of all time. It's really influential to me. Me and Naruto actually almost share the same birthday. I'm a day older than him, and I think I'm older than him like 5 years. But he is a great character, as you can tell. Love these guys. Love this guy, to be honest. Probably will pick up more of these volumes later down the road, because I do want to complete the entire collection. I think there's a total like 70 or 70 some volumes, I believe so. So you guys will probably see me collect that in the future. Okay. Yep. Let's move on to why did I say that? Next set of books that we have are One Punch Man volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4. These books, or this series in general, is one of my favorites. I love reading this. I read this actually weekly when it releases on the Shonen Jump app, but reading it weekly and seeing everything that happens with Garo and the Monster Association, it's an amazing read. I think this is one of the most most comedic stories I've ever read, because there's so much comedy in these stories, even though like everything about this character is OP as heck, but everybody else around him is like of their own skill level. But the world's so fleshed out with the Hero Association and everything. It's like My Hero, but with a more comedic spin on it. I'm being honest, but yes. Although we have One Punch Man's Volume 1 through 4. Yes, we have One Punch Man's Volume 1 through 4. But we'll be collecting more of these as time moves forward because I do love this series, and maybe we'll even talk about it one day. Who knows? Maybe we will. Maybe. So yeah, that's One Punch Man. Next book that we have is it's actually another one of my oldest mangas. It's a manga called look at me dropping stuff. I'm trying to hurry up and get this video done. A manga called Orphan. Orphan, I only probably read through this once, and it's volume 3, so you could tell I really not even interested in it, otherwise I would have the other volumes. But yeah, this is Orphan, I guess. I have no idea what the story is about. Again, I think I was getting to this again by a friend, and I never knew, or I don't think I ever had any interest in reading it, but now that I am more into reading, maybe I'll give it a shot one day. But I got to get the other 2 volumes first to figure out what is the real premise of this story called Orphan. And maybe it's something about vampires. Maybe it's about, hunting down monsters. I have no idea. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But Orphan, yeah, Orphan. Okay. This is the next book that we have. It is Percy Jackson and the Olympians: The Lightning Thief. This is the graphic novel of the book, as I've read, I believe, this one, the second one, and I believe the last one. It's the books, not the graphic novels. But I hear these are pretty good because it's very directed. It's the first book in a comic form, and honestly, I think I will collect more of these because I do love the Greek mythology of this series. And yeah, but yeah, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. We'll probably talk about this. Excuse me. We'll probably talk about this later down the road. Like I said, we have a lot of books here, and we're going to be talking about a lot of them. Some will get fleshed out more once I get done with them. Some will get talked about sooner than later. So this one, maybe not as soon as you guys want to, if you guys want me to talk about it, but we will. I will give my thoughts on it, or my thoughts on this entire series when I pick every single, I guess, volume up, because I think I have all of these in graphic novel series, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Percy Jackson and Olympians: The Lightning Thief. Okay, yes, sir. Our next set of books that we are about to talk about, or at least I'll show you guys my collection, are Sakamoto Days volumes 1 through 5. You guys can make that out. This manga, if I could best describe it to somebody, imagine if John Wick got fat and he didn't lose his family and he had a child and he works at a regular convenience store, but he's still awesome. Like this, I've been reading this a lot on the Shonen Jump app, and I collected the first 5 volumes because I said, hey, this is amazing. Like, I love this manga. Like, I love the art style. I love the characters. Like, they are pretty cool. Like, I love the story behind it and everything. It's got like, it's very, very it's very interesting. Like, I think, yeah, this only goes up to volume 43, but right now, if I tell you where I'm at, I'm actually on like chapter 150 on the Shonen Jump app. I got to get more volumes because I'm really ahead of this series right now. I'm really ahead. But yes, this is Sakamoto Days. I highly recommend it. Like I said, my simple synopsis is, John Wick, if he was fat, and he's still awesome, but he has his wife and kid. He has a wife and a kid, and he owns a convenience store that basically all his friends work at that work with him. So yeah, Sakamoto Days volumes 1 through 5. Cool. The next set of volumes we are talking about today are actually a set of volumes that I didn't expect to come across when I went to New York back last year for New Year's. And they are Masashi Kishimoto's second manga that I wish was successful, but it didn't. I guess it wasn't because he stopped making them. But he only has 5 volumes out, and that's Samurai 8, volumes 1 through 5. Now, I have started this, and I remember reading like the first few chapters, and it's basically, imagine like samurais in space, like Star Wars, but like more in depth, but I think the world, I think the story got a little too convoluted, and I think no one was really reading it. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna give my thoughts on this in the future, because I do want to read these. I actually never dived into how deep the story goes. I heard it goes some places, but then I heard it's left off on like a cliffhanger or something like that. I've heard rumblings. I've heard some stuff, but I want to see for myself. So you guys will get a major probably a major video on this in the future when I really get around to it. Like I said, I'm reading a lot of books probably at one time, like Invincible and Blame, and I want to start Berserk, and it's a lot of books I'm going to read. But this one is really on the list because they're probably one of my favorite mangakas, Naruto, who, Masashi Shimoda made Naruto, and here he's making another book. I was really happy, but then I heard it got canceled and it got shut down or got, publicized, or stopped being publicized. I was like, that sucks. But oh yeah, Samurai 8, everybody, Samurai 8, if you volumes 1 through 5. All right, as you guys know, I've been recording these book collection videos and everything, but this is all my Tokyo Ghoul volumes. These are our next books that we are talking about. Yeah, these are awesome. I try not to show too much anything else back there because you guys see other videos, other books that we talked about. But yeah, Tokyo Ghoul. This is my first, I guess, real book series that I have collected, from Tokyo Ghoul volumes 1 through 14 and Tokyo Ghoul Re's volume 1 through 16. And I gotta say, this is still one of my all-time favorite series, because I love, I don't mean to move the camera around too much, but I love the progression of Kaneki's character. He kind of is one of the most influential characters I ever read, because he's really not a strong character. He's a character based around weakness and his own weakness and how to overcome his own weakness. But you guys see how much I can go into these characters, because there's a bunch of characters that I love in this story, like Tsukiyama, freaking Kaneki, Arima. There are a lot of characters that have, Hide, Toka. I can go a lot with this book, this series in general. So you probably will get probably a retrospective video on this book series, about me going crazy about this. I'll probably put my thoughts together, try not to ramble too much like I am doing right now, and really get my thoughts on the difference between part 1 and part 2, because they are very parallel to each other. There are a lot of scenes that happen that are like literally like two parallel things. But yeah, that's my whole Tokyo Ghoul collection and Tokyo Ghoul Re collection, the whole book series. Cool. We are kind of jumping around a little bit because I forgot about some books to talk about, but I'm going to talk about this one called Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. I did start this book, and it's a manhwa by Sleepy C, adapted by Umi, original story by Sing and Song. Basically, it's a world-ending story, and the main character, he's read like the way the world ends. That's what it really is. Like, he reads the world like how it's ending as it goes. Cause he was the only one reading it for like years, and when he finally came to an end, he was given the key to everything. Like, it's got a very good premise. But yeah, this is Omniscient Viewpoint. I'm gonna just move on to the next one right now too. It's Solo Leveling Volume 1. The manhwa, and this is one of my favorite power fantasy series, actually, from like, Korea and everything. The anime is going crazy, and this manhwa is freaking amazing. There's 10 volumes out right now, so I will have all 10 volumes. I will make sure I collect all these. I have read majority of the series. I think I'm right at the end, but I am watching the anime. Anime is fantastic. It's really good. So yeah, that's Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint and Solo Leveling Volume 1. They're both Volume 1s, actually. So yeah. Set of books that we have are the Soul Eater Perfect Editions Volumes 1 through 3. As you can see, I've collected some of these stuff. I've read Soul Eater. I've watched the entire anime. I've read the rest of the manga, and I wish this would get reanimated. I wish we could get another anime, like a real adaptation of this, because there's some stuff that happens in here in the manga later on that is just so really epic. That would be so epic to see animated. But I digress. Yeah, we have all 3 volumes. If you've never heard of Soul Eater, where have you been? This is one of the most coolest like mangas ever, and I'll probably be picking up its prequel, you know, later down the road, Fire Force, and hopefully, we will talk about that in the future because I actually like that series as well. So we'll collect that and collect Soul Eater as we go forth throughout the year and the many videos that we will make going forward. So yeah, Soul Eater, perfect edition, volumes 1 through 3. Yeah. Next book we're talking about today is another new series that's coming out. That's getting an anime recently this year. It's called Togen Anki. Now it's a curse. Legend of the Cursed Blood. Now, from what I can tell from this series, it's very bold, it's very black, but imagine Dead Man Wonderland, but with a more better, I would say with a better premise. As you can see, I've read a bit of it. I've read about a few chapters of it now. It's got a very interesting art style. I actually like the art style a lot, and I think I'll probably give the anime a first watch. But I know this only has like 2 volumes out currently. The second one I believe comes out this month, but I gotta pick up more. Just like another manga I will talk about that has a volume 2 out that I will probably pick up later on the road. But yeah, this is a really good, interesting manga. I recommend the read. So yeah, Togen Anki. Yeah. Okay, the next book we have to talk about is a book called Unordinary. Now, this is a interesting series about another power fantasy series, but imagine if it was, you know, all set in a school, and the school has a hierarchy of who is the strongest, who, you know, they're all kids who got powers and everything. But imagine if the main character was the strongest, but he's hidden away. He doesn't showcase his powers. And I read this manga, or this webtoon, because it's a webtoon, by the way. I read this webtoon on, you know, actual webtoon years ago, and I got so far that I forgot even where I was, but I saw they actually had a volume 1 at Target, and I was like, let me get that. I like it a lot. So yes, this will probably get a good read soon, because I think this has more chapters, more stuff that happens that I don't think I remember, but I probably will read this, and hopefully we get a volume 2 soon, maybe. Unordinary, I think, this story's been out for a really while. It has been talked about a lot on the internet, but I'll probably give my 2 cents on it sooner or later. But yeah, Unordinary by Uru-chan. Yeah. Series we have to talk about is, or our next book we have to talk about is Vagabond. I believe this is the Omnibus. Vagabond Omnibus Volume 1. This series has always intrigued me, because I think the art style is very next level. Like, something about the art style for this manga makes me think of precision. You know, it's like precise. And I think even the mangaka he's how do I say this? I watched a video saying he wanted his manga to be looked at more like artwork than simple comic book panels. And I'm like, I could vibe with that. I could vibe with that heavy. So yeah, we have Vagabond Volume 1. I will give this a read, because I've always been interested in the series. I love samurais. I love the Shingoku era, or Sengoku era. I think it's Sengoku era. Sengoku era of this. Like, everybody was into cowboys. I dive more to samurais, because I think they have a code that is very interesting, and I hope, you know, this was my expectation. I heard it's really good, but yeah, I'm gonna give this a read, and I probably will give you guys a first impressions video of this within the future. Okay, cool. Next book that we have is not a familiar one, I guess you could say. It's more like a book about it's by an author that we just talked about recently. The same writer of One Punch Man. His name is One, and he has a new series called Versus. When I tell you guys, this series is basically like a series about battle. Oh wow, excuse me, I got distracted by something. A battle royale series. Basically, imagine a series where um, different different versions of Earth that are going through their own apocalypse merge into one. It sounds crazy, but it's a very bold premise. And there is a volume 2 out, and I gotta go get it. I tried looking for it earlier today, but no avail. No avail. Probably gotta check a few more bookstores. But yeah, Versus is really cool. The premise is very interesting. I think it's something new. I think it's something interesting. It's something to look out for. So yeah, I recommend this though. Versus by One. I think the the manga is by not by like the same guy who does One Punch Man, but it's still a good. It still has some good art style, some good artwork. So yeah, Versus is Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is by far one of the most intriguing mangas I ever picked up because I remember watching the first episode of the anime, and it's got like battles and blood and gore and evisceration. Like it was something else. But I want to own these because I do think these are a very good staple. I would like to read these and give a first impression because the anime is the anime. But I think a manga is gonna be a good read because look at the Vinland Saga, the first ever kind of like I heard it's like a Game of Thrones like anime, so or Game of Thrones manga, like Game of Thrones read. So I'm really intrigued with this. So yeah, Vinland. And last but not least, we have Marvel's Wolverine comic called Sneaked. Now, this thing intrigued me for many reasons because of the art style, and I don't know. It was just something I was like, I needed some new manga. I needed not manga, but I needed some comic in my life. And this comic has a very intriguing take on Wolverine. He's like a younger Wolverine almost. Like he's kind of edgy a little bit, but yeah, I'll probably finish reading this sometime this month, and I'll probably get my first impressions on this, maybe. But I'll probably give it a reread to see where I'm at in this because I was reading this back when I took a vacation, and I gotta say it's a really 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 cool little comic. It's got a very interesting premise, so I'll talk about this later. But yeah, and that's every single book in my book collection. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for supporting. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it wasn't too bad. I hope it wasn't too rambly. I do have a lot of books to talk about, and I have more to pick up because I want to talk about as many of these books as I can. I want to read as many books as I can, and I want to also collect things I've also read. You know, I've also read, and I want to just share that with you guys. You know, so without further ado, thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and oh yeah, happy reading.